I was worried that global warming would end up destroying many of the natural environments.
Just about the light bulb, it's about the whole system, the whole energy system that goes with that light bulb.
It's this technology that takes sunlight, which is free and available, and turns that into electricity.
Last time we talked about the dot-com bubble and how it had massive implications for both companies and investors when it burst. Today I'm here to talk to you about yet another bubble, but this time in the field of solar energy. Sustainability has been a hot topic for the past few years because people have been looking for more ways to switch to more environmentally friendly habits, and looking for a more sustainable source of energy has been number one on the priority list. For years now, people have been trying to make the switch to using the sun as a source of energy as opposed to using oil and gas. However, experts and analysts are claiming that we are in a sustainability bubble, and that we are over-investing in solar energy and sustainability. Now, if you watch the dot-com bubble explained, you'd know why being in a bubble isn't a good thing. So sit back and relax as I talk to you about the business of solar energy, and just why exactly people are speculating we're in a bubble. This is Business Explained. To learn more about all things money, get educated about how to do business, become business savvy, and enjoy more videos like these, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell, and may you be granted with many, many sweet returns. So, solar energy. Let's start with defining it. It's pretty straightforward. Solar energy refers to energy we get from the sun that can be converted into thermal and electrical energy. There are three ways that humans can harness the energy of the sun: through photovoltaic cells, which converts the light of the sun into electrical energy; passive solar heating, which is when the sun heats up a space by simply shining on it; and solar thermal technology, which uses the heat of the sun to make steam. You've probably seen solar panels attached to walls or roofs. These devices are used to store solar energy to be converted into electricity for later usage. The main advantage of solar energy is that it is a clean, renewable source of power. It's incredibly attractive to people who want to maintain a sustainable lifestyle because, theoretically, the sun provides more than enough energy to everything on Earth that needs it. However, our biggest hindrance to using solar energy is finding a way to convert it into electricity in an efficient and cost-effective way. But developments over the past few years have provided ways for renewable energy sources to be easier to produce and more affordable. In the United States in 2019, over 4,118 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity were generated. About 63% of this came from fossil fuels like coals, gas, petroleum, and various other gases. While fossil fuels do prove to be effective energy sources, they are not renewable, meaning that eventually they will run out. Also, they're harmful to the environment. In order to convert fossil fuels into energy, they need to be burned. Burning fossil fuels causes air pollution, land degradation, and water pollution, all of which has contributed to global warming. However, in spite of these numbers, we have made significant progress in switching to more sustainable sources of energy. But back to the topic at hand. Experts and analysts are actually questioning the switch to more sustainable resources because, in the long run, it might not make any profit. It would, theoretically, be good for the Earth, but it might not be so good for investors. A lot of nations across the globe have incentives for those who are willing to invest in the renewable energy sector. However, it seems that people no longer need to be incentivized to tap into the renewable energy sector. That's because nowadays, the costs aren't as expensive as they were before, and renewable energy sources have achieved grid parity. But what is grid parity? Well, it's a critical part of stopping climate change. According to the Climate Reality Project, grid parity is the point when the cost of the alternative energy becomes equal to or less than electricity from conventional energy forms like fossil fuels. That means that people are offered the choice to pick between using fossil fuels as a source energy or turn to a sustainable source of energy like sun, wind, or water. Why does this matter? Well, one of the biggest arguments before making the switch to renewable energy was that we simply could not afford to do it. Grid parity now suggests that we can afford it, and we can even turn away completely from using fossil fuels. It seems like a no-brainer, right? These factors prompt from renewable energy projects to enter the market, which has been happening over the past few years. Governments must be able to ensure a steady and secure energy supply while making certain that the market stays competitive. And the market has stayed competitive. In fact, it has become very competitive as a whole new slew of solar power companies have begun entering the market. Now, industry experts are trying to express their concerns on just how cheap the market has gotten. A lot of new investors are eyeing the solar energy market as a stable asset with power purchase agreement prices plummeting and contract terms or durations have become much shorter. According to Green Tech Media, these factors have led to the rise of the solar energy bubble.
Now that we know that renewables can't save the planet, are we going to keep letting them destroy it?
This is what Emma Foranger Merchant had to say in her article titled, "Is the Utility-Scale Solar Industry in a Finance Bubble?" Industry financial experts say, taken together, those trends have led to a mispricing of a risk for what Wood Mackenzie Power and Renewables has called dirt-cheap, short-term PPAs. Now, sponsors are looking at a market with tight returns and potentially risky exposure to a project's post-PPA residual value. Now again, being in a bubble isn't a good thing. Bubbles burst, and when they do, they have massive implications. Some figures in the industry have expressed their concern in the pricing bubble for renewable energy. Wood Mackenzie Power and Renewables released a solar project finance report that shows that investors in the solar energy industry have been steadily rising over the years. Richard Matsui, the CEO at Kilowatt Analytics, likened what is happening to a Wild West situation. Here's the analogy that sits in my head when I think about this. It's kind of like the Wild West situation. Everyone is out there fending for themselves. You have all these investors that are like, how do I get my hands on the next solar project? Everyone is bringing their knives out whatever they came to fight with. The aggressive guys win the deal right now. Unfortunately, being aggressive in this case means having the willingness to accept lower returns on investment, which would push others in the market to follow suit. Too much capital going into the market has made the solar energy industry become less sustainable and less stable and has significantly raised the risks for investment in the market. With shortened power purchasing agreements, there is a smaller time frame for solar energy projects to hit their necessary returns to give back to investors. There is no guarantee that investors would be able to gain their investment back within the window of time they are given, which means that they would have to wait beyond the contract period to get back their returns. This means that investors would have to trust in what the future holds for each of their investments into the solar energy market, which, as we have seen in the dot-com bubble, is speculative and may not turn exactly how they expect it to be. In the case of the dot-com bubble, stocks were overvalued and investors and companies alike relied on speculation in making their investments. It was dubbed as too good to last, and in the case of the solar energy bubble, it's looking to follow suit. We would need to wait and see what the implications the solar energy bubble would have for investors and companies alike.
The sun is still available for everyone. And by integrating solar on the place where we need it, we now have the opportunity to make solar cell accessible for everyone.
What are your thoughts on the solar energy bubble? Is it worth investing in it? Or is it just another one of those things that will burn bright and fade fast? Let me know what you think and let's talk about it in the comments section below. I'll respond to all of you who comment within the first hour. If you like this video, check out my other video called The Future of Healthcare. More often than not, we are curious about what the future would bring. We want to know what comes next and who can blame us. It's our nature to wonder. The advent of technology brought about so many changes and gave rise to numerous advancements in just about every sector possible. It seems that anything will be possible in the future. Most, if not all, of the industries today will be greatly impacted by technology over the next decade. We are certainly so much more developed than we were 50 years ago, so it's safe to say that with technology, we would be offered with more tools and devices that will help enhance and enrich our experience of life. One such industry that will develop more and more as the years go by is the healthcare industry. Experts are looking at technology-centered healthcare systems equipped with cutting-edge machinery for developed countries, and they foresee that healthcare standards would rise for the overall global community. What can technology do for the healthcare industry? What is the future of healthcare? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in the future of healthcare, so sit back and relax as I tell you all about what the future has in store for healthcare. Stay tuned, stay educated.